Hello, this is Sunny Gupta, Secretary, Independent School Federation of Lakhimpur, Uttar Pradesh. Today I am going to discuss with you about UP fee bill which has been gazetted on April 9, 2018. The interpretation done by me are completely my views. I don't know and don't guarantee their legal viability. Let's proceed about this bill. So this bill is applicable to the whole political boundary of Uttar Pradesh. This has already been released in Gazette on April 9, 2018, and this is applicable from the current academic session 2018-19. Means the session is going on right now. This is applicable from this session only. This is applicable to all kind of schools, all grade of schools, including minority institutions. Means the minority institutions which doesn't fall under RTE but falls under this act. However, the independent primary schools doesn't fall in. But if one institution have a separate pre-primary block in the campus itself, that comes under this act. All the boards, may be of state, central or international, all school comes under this act. But there is one cap of fee being charged of 20,000 rupees. Means the schools whose annual composite fee is less than 20,000 rupees, they don't fall in this. However, the schools who have fees more than 20,000 rupees per child annually falls in this. But sometimes the number of schools are there whose fees is 20,000 rupees composite for a few classes only. Let's say there is one school whose from class NC till class 8th fees is approx 1,000 to 1,200 rupees. Means that may be from 12,000 to 15,000 rupees. So for these classes, whenever it comes till to fee hike, they doesn't fall under. The time the one class fees for complete annum touches 20,000, there will be a cap for fee hike. Expect I am clear on this. I am repeating once more. The schools who does not have fees 20,000 rupees per child annually doesn't fall under this. Now let's talk about educational purposes. This is a very important factor. So educational purposes, this bill says that includes all the activities performed by recognized schools for to and for educational purposes, including development activities, teaching trainings, upgradation of technology, addition of infrastructure of current building, and establishment of the new branch under the same entitled society or trust. So this all comes under the educational purposes. Whenever we will talk about further the development fund or we will talk about the income expenditure, this will be a very important thing to understand at that time. Let's come on the fixation of fees. That's a very important thing to be discussed. So every school is very free to charge any fee. There is no cap that how much fee are you charging. It's point to understand. This bill doesn't say that how much fees you have to charge. You're very free to charge any fee as per your facility. Cap is only on hike. Means this bill restricts you to hike the fees, not to charge the fees. Any recognized school can increase fee annually, but shall be bounded to increase fee not more than approx 8%. Means the school cannot increase annually fees more than 8% for a particular grade. It depends on the published consumer price index for that particular year. 8% I have said because I am considering 3% published computer price index, and 5% they have given us relaxation to increase. Chunki since this bill is in action from 2018-19, So for the 18-19, the calculation has to be on the base year 15-16, and 8% annual compound increment shall be applicable. Now, how to do the calculation? If suppose one school's class 9th fee was 2000 in year 15-16, if we do 8% compound increment, so it will be 25.97%, means the fees has to be 2520 rupees for the year 2018-19 if it was in 2015-16 2000 rupees. But there is one more thing which has to be seen. Now, after seeing 15-16 fees and making the increment of 25.97%, you have to look once on the fees of your for the same class for 17 and 19. Now, suppose if 17 and 19 the fee was only 2200, suppose, then the increment on 2200 will also be seen once, 8%, and whichsoever figure is lower, that will be applicable for 18-19. So if we are doing the calculation for 2000 rupees as say, so for 2000 rupees in 15-16 if it was, then the maximum fees could be 2520, but if in class 9 for the same school fee was less than 2330, then the fees will be calculated on 2017-18 plus 8% hike. I hope I am clear now. Now there are some exemptions also in fixation of fees. The fixations are, number one, that there will be no cap on new student. Means if suppose for the same school, if we say for class 9 the fee for the old student is 2520 rupees, but for the new student that can charge anything. Means if that school charge 5000 rupees for the same school for the same class for the new student, the government have not any problem. But what has to be done, that if the fees charges 5000 rupees, then the calculation for the next year for that guy for increment will be based on that only. Now let's come on other exemptions. There are exemptions that a school, if wants to increase fees more than prescribed in this bill, he may do. In the case if any new tax is done, if the new pay commission comes, recommendation of pay commission comes, or a school wants to enhance in the facilities, or they want to bring any technology, or like any justified reason, it can hike for more than 8% as well, but it has to seek a prior permission from divisional fee regulation committee, that to 90 days prior from starting the session. Now let's talk about the components of fees. This is also one of the very important factor. Now there are only 4 fees can be charged from a student. If the student is new, then the admission fee can be charged at one time only. Prospectus and registration fees charge can be at the time admission, means one time only. Examination fee can be charged from the new and old students both, and that will be charged as examination are being taken by the school. Now the last point which is very important is that there has to be only one head now in the schools, that will be composite annual fee. Means there will be no other fee like development fee, computer fee, library fee, activity fee, generator fee, digital class fee used to be in schools. Now there will be no more in action. Means the act says that you please all combine all the fees whatsoever you are charging in single head, that will be called composite annual fees. Means now your school will not be able to charge annual charge or development, however they can include that annual charge and development charge whatsoever they were taking in one composite annual fees. And school may charge some other optional fees the students opt for, like boarding, mess, transport, day boarding, functions, tours, etc. But there must be no compulsion for the students to opt for that. There may be some refundable charges as well, like security deposit. School may ask for some security deposit, but that will not be more than 50% of the composite annual fees, and that will be returned between or like in less than 30 days that of the transfer certificate issued from the school. And the school has to pay the interest equals to SBI account for that amount which was deposited by a student at the time of admission. Now let's come on how the fees is to be displayed. Once a school decide their fees, if they want to seek any approval, they seek the approval for exceptional hike or whatsoever. Then afterwards, for the fees decided, they have to display their fees and they have to upload the fees on the website and the flash on the notice board 60 days prior for the upcoming academic session. A school have to disclose in that how they want to take the payment. It is monthly, quarterly, or half yearly. But no school can take or can charge fees in annual mode. It means in one time. For academic session 18-19, school has to display the fees and upload the fees chart on the website before 30 days of this budget, this act released in Gazette. Means it was released on April 9, 2018, so it has to be published before May 8, 2018 on the website. So please go for this and please keep on preparing this. No school can ask fee in one installment, and capitation fee is strictly prohibited. Means there are very strict charges on schools if they ask in any kind of capitation fee. Now let's discuss about income and development fund. All receipts from school and surplus earned by any commercial activity shall be counted as income of school. Means this act allows you to do any commercial activity in the school, but the surplus of that shall be counted as the income of school. Means you have got a tuck shop in the school, or like you sell some dress material from the school or whatsoever. So the act doesn't stop you, but it says you that the income of all the things should be counted as the income of school. And surplus from any commercial activity will never be transferred in the society account. That will be one society account may have like multiple schools, but that will be used in that school only where the surplus has been earned from. A school cannot transfer more than 15% of total income in development fund. It means if your total receiving of from the student is 100 rupees, then you have to expend 85% rupees in educational purposes, and only 15% you can transfer in your development fund. However, if you want to if you have any plans for further infrastructures or like further development, and if you want to increase more than 15%, then you may go to divisional fee committee and you can ask for that. They will give you a permission to revise the fees, and you can have more than 15% reserve fund for that particular year. Now, uses of development fund: you can never use your development fund other than educational purposes, and that can never be used for commercial activities as well. Now there will be one divisional fee regulation committee which will have 7 members, including of like divisional commissioner, one educational member, one from school side, one from PWD engineer, and one from CA and all. So it has the several powers. It will have several powers. It will have a power to take a decision on proposal raised by school management for exceptional fee hike, and it will have a power to entertain complaints of students, guardian and parents. But the students, parents and guardian cannot approach directly. They have to first approach school management or principal, and if the management and principal doesn't entertain his problem in 15 days, then only he can go to this divisional fee committee. And now it will hear the complaints for number one, excess fee hike done by school. If capitation fees